Hi, this is Pratik from TechStalk. Today I'll be starting a new series on Terraform. So we'll be going through different aspects of Terraform in this series, and we'll be leveraging Java in case it is needed to show any demo which is related to Terraform. So this will be our first video in that series. So it will be about Terraform Introduction. So it will be an introductory video for Terraform. I'll be going through different topics related to Terraform, like what is Terraform and what would be the workflow of the Terraform, how it works, and I'll be showing you one simple example of the Terraform configuration, so as to give you a glimpse of how the Terraform configuration files or the setup look like. So let's get started. So in this video we'll be going through these three topics. So what is Terraform, and then we'll see how Terraform works, like what will be the workflow of the Terraform, and then we'll look into the internal architecture of Terraform as well. So what's Terraform? So Terraform is an infrastructure as a code tool which can be used for provisioning the infrastructure with different cloud platforms like AWS, GCP and Azure. So it is cloud agnostic, so it works with all the cloud platform, and the language which we use to define different resources of infrastructure is called HCL, which is HashiCorp configuration language, and we'll see how this language looks like and how we can use this language to define different resources in your cloud platform. Then what's the workflow of the Terraform? So it really looks like this. So here, as someone who wants to use the infrastructure as a code tool, so the person will write the configuration in Terraform using the HashiCorp configuration language, and then there's a process called initialization. So it will initialize the Terraform, which will download all the relevant provider plugins and all the modules which are required to configure those resources. And then there's a second step called plan, wherein we try to create a plan or a resource graph. So plan is like, so whenever that configuration is applied to your cloud platform, what all resources would be generated and in what order it would be generated, that plan would be shown to you, so that you can check whether what you are trying to accomplish through the configuration is what will be like it will be applied through that plan. And once you are satisfied with that plan, you can go to the next step of applying that plan to the actual cloud provider, which can be AWS, GCP, Azure, or other providers as well, like Kubernetes or Docker. So this is how basically Terraform works. Then how Terraform works internally. So there are two parts to it mainly, which is the Terraform core and the plugin. So Terraform core basically reads the configuration files and modules. So whatever configuration files and modules we create, so Terraform core will read those configuration files and it will do the required state management. So Terraform basically maintains a state of how the configuration which you have written in the HCL language, how this correlates to the actual resources in your cloud provider. So that relation is being recorded in a file called Terraform state file. Then it also creates an execution plan. So when you plan your Terraform deployment, so how the configuration will affect your infrastructure, what all resources will be created, updated or destroyed, so that part will be written in the execution plan. So Terraform core helps you to create the execution plan. Then it interacts with the plugins over gRPC. So it's a remote procedure call. So this is how the core part of the Terraform interacts with the plugins, and that is done through the remote procedure call. So the components of the Terraform are written in the Golang language. Okay, so and this call happens through gRPC. And then the second part, which is the main part of the Terraform, is the plugins, so which does all the heavy lifting of calling the provider APIs, and it defines the resources that map to the services. So basically provider does the heavy lifting of applying that configuration to the actual cloud provider through a client library, which basically calls the APIs of the cloud provider, so that the resources corresponding to the configuration can be created or like updated. Okay, so this is how Terraform internally works. So let me show you a simple example of how we define the Terraform configuration and what the folder structure looks like. So this is how the Terraform configuration looks like. So we have a .tf file containing all the configuration. So there are three main files. One is called the main.tf, other is variable.tf, and third one is outputs.tf. So main.tf basically defines what all providers are needed and what all modules we have to import and what all resources we have to create. So all that configuration is mentioned in this .tf file, main.tf, and so it basically looks like a JSON structure, but there are different like the standards which you have to follow while writing this configuration file. And then we have a variables.tf file. Basically these are the input variables which we can define, which we can use in our Terraform configuration. And then we have outputs.tf. Basically like whenever you apply any configuration, there would be some resources which gets created or updated, and as part of the application of that execution plan, there will be some resources, and each resource will have some say the properties which you can like output to the console through this output configuration. So these are three main .tf files which you have to create while configuring the infrastructure through Terraform. Okay, so that's it from this video. So this was a brief introduction of what is Terraform and how it works and how we have to define all the configuration. We'll dig deeper into each of the sections and different topics of Terraform in the subsequent videos. So till then, thanks for watching. Bye.